Hello everyone and welcome to the European Yogi channel. Today we're going to talk about Thailand, a country which is a very famous tourist hotspot and where a lot of people go to party and have fun. But what you might not know is that Thailand has a strong link with Indian history. Sanskrit is still present in Thailand. They have their own Ayutthaya. It's still ruled by Ram, and its international airport has statues of Hindu gods and goddesses. Well, I'm not talking about India. This is Thailand. So the history of Thailand is very similar to the history of other nations in Southeast Asia. Thailand also has undergone the process of Indianization, where Indian culture slowly penetrated these lands and people just voluntarily took up Indian culture. They started dressing up as Indians, they started using Sanskrit, they started worshipping Indian Hindu gods and goddesses, they started celebrating Indian festivals, they started making Indian Hindu style temples. Today, officially, it's a Buddhist country. So Thailand's history, of course, is very long, but we'll start with the creation of the kingdom of Ayutthaya. Ayutthaya was founded in 1351 by the king Rama the first. So, as you know, in India, the Ramayana is highly famous, which highlights the life of Sri Ram, who was a very famous king in Indian history. And of course, the legend of Sri Ram, which is written in the story of Ramayana, also reached Thailand. And the kings in Thailand, they were so impressed by Sri Ram and his life that they named themselves after him. So the king himself, his name was Rama the first, and the name Rama comes from Sri Ram. And the king thought to himself, well, I am a Ram now, but Ram had his Ayodhya. So where is my Ayodhya? So what he did was he named his capital city Ayutthaya, which is the Thai pronunciation of Ayodhya. And because the capital was named Ayutthaya, his whole empire ended up being called the Ayutthaya Empire. Bangkok was not always the capital of Thailand. Before Bangkok, the capital of Thailand was Ayodhya, an Indian named city. That's amazing. Let's come to the present mode today in Thailand. What is still left of this Indian legacy? Now, you would be surprised to know that in Thailand today, they still have a king. They still have a monarchy. And this monarchy is the Chakri dynasty. So this dynasty is ruling Thailand since many years now. And the first king of this dynasty, his name was Rama the first. All the kings of this dynasty, till today, they are always named Rama. Recently, the ninth king, Rama the ninth, he died. And then his son became the next king, who is the present king now. And his name, his official title is Rama the 10th. So I went to Thailand in late 2022 and check out what I discovered when I was in Thailand. I visited the city of Ayutthaya. And while going to Ayutthaya, I saw the street signs on the road. So many names, you have the name Rama inside them. We are not talking about India. This is Thailand. Look at the amazing influence Rama, the name Rama has had in Thailand. This is a country thousands of kilometers away from India. These people are proud of this. They love this. They appreciate this. They say that this is also our culture. And it's true. It came from India, but today it belongs to the Thai people equally as it does to the Indians. Now let's talk about the first king of this Chakri dynasty, King Rama the first. Now Rama the first was really fond about the Ramayana. He was so fond about the Ramayana that he wrote his own version of the Ramayana. And this version which he wrote is called the Ramakien. And this version is so important in Thai culture that it is taught in schools today. Yes, you heard that right. A certain version of a Ramayana is taught in Thai schools today. Even today, when the king dies in Thailand and the new king is inaugurated, Hindu priests come and perform the ceremony because this is the tradition of Thailand since hundreds of years. Now, it was amazing to see Ayutthaya. Here you see pictures. Ayutthaya as a city today, it consists of many Buddhist stupas. I've never been to the Indian Ayodhya, but I've been now to the Thai Ayodhya. Recently, we had the Asian Athletics Championship again in Thailand. And as every sports tournament, this tournament also had a mascot. What did they choose? Well, they chose Hanuman. They chose a Hindu monkey god as a symbol of an international sports tournament. Again, because they said this is not religion, this is our culture. If you're coming to Thailand, we want you to see Thai culture. And this is Thai culture right there because Ramayan, called Ramakien, is super, super important to Thai culture. Now, my flight was from the international airport in Bangkok, which is called the Suvarnabhumi International Airport. Suvarnabhumi is Sanskrit. Suvarna means gold and Bhumi means land in Sanskrit, which is the ancient Indian language. So Suvarnabhumi actually means golden land. So, the biggest international airport in Bangkok, which receives millions of tourists from all around the world, has a Sanskrit name, and it's called Suvarnabhumi because Thailand used to be called the Golden Land or the Land of the Gold, or at least this is how they like to call themselves. So they just took this name. In fact, there are many Thai restaurants which are still called Suvarnabhumi, including one in my hometown in Europe. But there was one more big surprise waiting for me inside the airport. When I cleared immigration, I presented my passport, I got the stamp, and then I cleared immigration and I walked into this departure hall with all the gates where I was looking for my gate. And you know what you see just when you enter the departure hall? The churning of the ocean, or in Sanskrit, as you say, in the Sagar Manthan. It's an ancient Indian legend. One side the Asurs, on the other side the Devtas, and in the middle you have the Hindu god Vishnu, who is like the judge of this game. A very famous ancient Indian story. And look at this. This is right here on a Thai airport. This is not even a museum. This is an airport. This is where people take their flights from. This is the last thing you get to see when you are leaving Thailand, because this was an international terminal and they have boards in front of that which clearly talk about this scene. Now here's my summary of this visit. Look, Thailand sees its Indian past, its Indian Hindu past, not as a religion but as a culture. It sees it as an ancient civilization, and Thailand was a part of this ancient civilization. So when they are embracing this culture, when they are teaching Ramayana at their schools, when they're naming their cities Ayutthaya, when they're naming their kings Rama, when they're naming their airports after Sanskrit names, when they're putting statues of Ravan and Vishnu at their airports, they're not promoting some religion. They're just promoting their country and their heritage and their traditions. Bangkok is today the second most visited city in the world. It's a tourist magnet because Thailand has built this reputation of being a nice, a friendly, a safe country at the same time, which is developed to a certain extent and also still has a rich culture and proudly shows it and wants you to be a part of this culture. And it's attracting foreign tourists to their country, while India, which is the source of all this exotic culture, is struggling to find pride in this. And because Indians are struggling to find pride in this, they're not able to sell this properly. Now, of course, a lot of people visit India too, but Thailand gets more tourists than India, despite being a much smaller country with a much smaller population. I think that's a huge potential which India is not tapping into simply because they're not able to sell their own culture, while other countries are selling India's culture as their own culture because they love it so much and they're successful with it. And instead of suppressing its ancient history by calling it a Hindu religion, it should just embrace it as something which belongs to all Indians, no matter what religion you belong to. You should all appreciate the Ramayana. You should all appreciate who Sri Ram was, the life he lived, the morals and the values he stood for. Look at the Thai people. They're doing it right there. And you know what? They're known all over the world for being liberal and hospitable and open-minded. It's shameful that Ramayana is taught in Thailand but not in Indian schools. Why does Buddhist Thailand use Hanuman as a sports mascot, while in India it would be impossible? Right now, India, by the way, is also hosting an international tournament, the Cricket World Cup. And this is the mascot of the Cricket World Cup. Yeah, like I think you could have also... yeah, that's the... yeah, why not? Something from history. No, seriously, Thailand is doing it too. What's your problem? So in India, finally, they have decided to build the Ram Mandir. And the funny thing is that before this decision was made by the courts in India, in Thailand already, the people issued statements saying that it's taking too long for the Ram Mandir to be built in India, so we are going to start building it in the Thai Ayodhya first, and the Indians can at some time catch up and build the Ram temple in the Indian Ayodhya. How embarrassing is that? Even Thailand is sitting there and is getting frustrated. They're like, these Indians, why are they not able to build a simple temple? Something which is so strongly rooted in the culture of all of Southeast Asia, especially India. And now, look, in India, they say regularly that we will have to be a modern country. We have to develop, and this is why we don't want to focus so much on these ancient things, because we want to be developed. But look, if you look at the GDP per capita, Thailand's GDP per capita is twice the size than that of India's. So in the 75 years since India has become independent, in the name of becoming modern, you are removing everything of your history from yourself, and this other country is importing your traditions, is loving it, and still has twice the GDP per capita than you. So what's your argument? It is silly. If you look at the Human Development Index, Thailand is ranked 66, India is ranked 132. If you look at tourism, well, we just discussed that Thailand gets much more tourists. They're having much more revenue in tourists than India is. So if embracing ancient history makes you go backward, then why is India still more backward than Thailand? Now, my job here is to just highlight these points. What do you think about Thailand today? What do you think about India today? Leave your comments down below in the comments section and keep checking out my channel for the next videos. Until then, see ya!